Cool, so we are watching the first Invictus game versus Backstrap Boys here. Unfortunately this will be uploaded later on, as at the moment my stream is not connecting to PSN. Thatcher ban coming out from Invictus. Let's see what the Backstrap Boys go for here. They are attacking first on Kafe, which is the unfavourable side to start with. And it is a Ying ban coming out, which I suppose kind of makes sense still, even though she has had a couple of nerfs at this point. Well, just for one nerf, the fourth Candela taken away, but she's still pretty toxic. Pretty tough to deal with. And for my ban coming out, which is interesting. A lot of teams playing the Pixel corner on Kafe top floor. My is quite reliable to do that spot, I suppose, so makes a lot of sense to get rid of it. And Vigil ban coming out from Invictus. Now that leaves Echo, Mirror and Maestro all in play, which is a lot of utility for the attackers to deal with. We've got U-Serious, Riot. I'm assuming that's meant to be maybe shapes. I'm going to refer to them as shapes throughout the game. Mill and Rubik's versus Keegan, Shield Boy, Smay, Grand Slayer and Hypno. Tachanka coming out from Keegan. I'm not sure if that's intentional. And the first Kali, so possibly explaining. Well, actually no. I think it was actually Invictus who banned the Thatcher here. Just hinting at the Kali. Actually going off it, seeing no mute or bandit on the board, so presumably not needing it. They are actually sticking for Tachanka, so it looks like that's part of the strat.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Let's see. I'm intrigued to see where they put this turret. Not sure if they're going to bust out the G2 strat from the Invitational, where they set it up here. I'm going to try and protect it from below. Hypno actually reinforcing the... Oh, just one of the wall. Oh no, he's reinforcing both of the wall by the trash bags, which a lot of teams leave that open. I suppose it protects the pixel spot a little bit. They are playing with a mirror, so I'm wondering if this main back to the wall might actually get opened, which could explain the reinforcements on the side here.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Bit of a strange setup. There's a lot of good players on Invictus who I know of. Hypno has been in the scene for quite a while. Shield Boy I've seen play very well on previous teams. I've heard of Grand Slayer. I've not seen so much as Smay and Keegan, so I'm not sure what to expect of them. But I would say they are the favourites going into this match. I don't know Backstrap Boys at all. I've never heard of any of their players, so I don't know what to expect from them. They could come out and surprise me, which would be good to see, because I want to see a nice balanced match here, but we'll see how it pans out. They are up the roof. They're using an Ash shot straight away on this, on both roof hatches. That's a little bit questionable, considering the castle's in play. They're going to need those charges to get rid of castle barricades, but you still got the Zofia to do so. But if they get caught by an ADS, you're going to be running into a lot of trouble. And here we see IQ making the first play, just dropping into the new balcony. She's not actually getting C4'd. I suppose Mira's the only one with a C4. A lot of teams play somebody below to C4 up into the spot, so very brave just dropping down straight like that. And having a look through the gadgetry inside of the site. Playing right on the site door here and getting rid of that proximity alarm. New addition to the game, which it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. And the opening kill here coming out from U-Serious, who just kills the, I think it was Jaeger and Freezer? The defense sat quite far back inside here. The Tachanka seems to have, I think the Tachanka down shapes there. And Riots is already inside, contesting this mirror window. He's actually going to try and pop the mirror, which I think is going to work, but he gets smoked out of the spot straight away. I keep him making a play up onto the cocktail lounge, but gets shot down by the smoke. And somewhere someone's whacking a castle barricade, which is why you needed to save those ash charges. Should have been using the Sophia breaches to get the hatches open, in my opinion. I'm actually not sure. That might be one of the defenders prepping a castle barricade. It's been a strange round. Backstrike boys have been in the site for a considerable amount of it, but just not able to get the plant down with all of these mirror windows looking at them and the shield on the other side. Keegan here getting very aggressive across the cocktail balcony. Keegan's got the job of trying to deny the plant here. He hasn't shot the bar open at all, so hasn't got the best angles if they smoke plant it. But the smokes are coming out now as the plant's starting to go down by the looks of it. 17 seconds left on the board. Keegan with a single kill turns it into a 1v2 here for Mill, who's got the utility to blind the mirror window, but doesn't look to be doing so. Oh, he's actually already used it, so the opportunity to smoke plant's gone, unfortunately. And first round here comes out to Invictus, who've just managed to hold on to the site and deny the plant, and it's that very deep back in sight, but it's worked out for them. On to kitchen next. Pretty default site rotation here, going from the top floor onto kitchen. Most commonly the two default sites. Reading, I think, is a very strong site, and I think mining, I think a lot of teams haven't put enough time into actually working mining out. I've noticed the same thing with the PS4 community, where a lot of teams don't have practice onto attacking the fourth sites, which means that often if you throw them out with a really good fourth site setup, you can often catch them off guard. But clearly just sticking to a meta here, just going for the bottom floor.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can. Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
So the defense here look like they're going to be setting up for quite a heavy small bakery hold, but actually reinforcing both small bakery walls, so that gives a little bit of a cubby here which you can sit in. I wonder if they will be contesting this or just completely blocking it off. Actually making it rotate in the bakery wall, which I've seen quite a lot of teams do this.
10 seconds remaining.
I suppose it suits it with the bans. All of the hard breaches are in place, so getting this wall open isn't particularly intensive for the utility.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb. Attackers dropped the defuse.
It is a bit of a
Attackers recovered the bomb
situation where most likely the Jaeger, possibly the Doc, will just sit in here and just hold it for as long as they can. We've actually got a Nook coming out, so I want to follow the Nook because you don't see very many teams running the Nook. That is quite a nice looking skin there with the new weapon skin and new weapon attachment skins. The attackers here not going for bakery, they're going for a full roam clear. This is a very time intensive way of attacking this site. I think you can gain a lot from it, but it's quite difficult to clear the entire map out. They're droning out the entirety of the map, which, okay, they've actually got the Sophia inside, so it's not too bad. But it's the first 50 seconds gone, and they've only cleared out one of the floors so far. Ash is actually down on the middle floor now, so pretty time efficient here. I'm surprised to see them not running a sledge at all. Ash Sophia works, I suppose, but with the castle barricades and the Evil Eyes, you don't want to be using these projectiles to be getting the floor. Sledge I feel like would bring them quite a lot here, or just some breaching charges on the Nomad, but bringing a Nook when you don't have a sledge I suppose is a little bit questionable, but a lot of teams stick to the meta a little bit too much, and I think it's good to see teams experimenting. Sophia does get lit up. I assume she's just challenging the vertical angles, and yeah, she is. She's just using the ankle down through these slim bars. It's quite difficult to get the pixel shots off. Ash jumps out, and they are down in the middle floor now, so it looks like they're converging towards a freezer attack. They've actually managed to open the freezer wall, and Cabana here seeing a pixel of the castle's head and not managing to land the shots. Sees the castle again and gets the headshot. Good shot there from Riot.
Drone ready.
Missed shots there coming out from Eusterius. and it does converge into a 3v2. We're just keeping Grand Slayer alive. I think it's now just on Grand Slayer. Stuck in this small bakery in a 1v3 situation. Misses the shots. As the plant goes down here from Riot.
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
Tricky retake here for Grand Slayer as he's coming back into the site. Sees the Nook behind the counter, but the Hibana catches him off, and it's 1-1 here between the two teams. Pretty convincing round coming out there from Backstrap boys, who went for a very time-exhaustive way of roam clearing the map, but with no roamers, it was actually the correct decision. And they just managed to get the site open quicker than I expected them to be able to, and just managed to get the kills from doing so. So on to reading here, which so far I think reading's a sensible choice, having seen how Kitchen just worked out for them. It is a very strong site if you know how to hold it properly. First, Yana in play. I have not yet casted a match with Yana and Oryx, and it gets 6-picked off. No, denied. No Yana for me today. I think that's sensible though. The IQ definitely needed here with the Echo in play, and to some extent the Legion as well.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
So, from what I've seen of Invictus so far, they play Kafe fairly standard. They extend out into bakery for a bottom floor hold, and they extend upwards and out into mining when they're doing the reading holds. I've not seen very many teams at the moment who are actually roam clearing the whole map, so I'm intrigued to see the Backstrap boys are actually able to pull off a full roam clear. And then into a freezer take as well, which again is not what I've seen to be the most common way of attacking it. So it's quite an interesting strat battle here, and between two teams kind of coming at it with different approaches. And yeah, I think you could see that in the defeat of Kitchen. I think Invictus were very much set up for a hold into bakery, and they got caught off guard by the freezer roam clear. Grand Slayer going for the spawn peak, but I don't think he's landed any shots there. My only criticism of Backstrap boys so far has been their decision not to bring us off Breacher, and they have now gone onto a Buck, so I'm very glad to see. I'm hoping that's... Sophia looks to have fallen off a roof. I'm not sure if that was a glitch. Buck is going down to get her.
Watch my back.
Choosing to not withstand, which is good because it means she'll get to keep that extra little bit of HP. But that is an unfortunate time loss here for Backstrap boys. Minute gone, and this possibly is not quite as time intensive as clearing out the attack onto the bottom floor. They've only got to clear out the 2 floors here potentially, but that minute loss picking up as I see is definitely going to distract them and cost them towards the end of this round potentially. And I just missed that, unfortunately. It looked like a pistol 1-tap. I'm not quite sure what I just saw. Ooh, and very close to hitting the head there. Ash actually just outside pillars at the moment, potentially just wondering whether or not she can push in and take this bit of map control, which would be absolutely crucial. And a proximity alarm going off near the freezer, that's quite an interesting... That's quite far away from sight. It's not where I expected there to be one, but it's really annoying for Savannah, who's flicking back and forth because of it. Walks into Cocktail, doesn't see the Mozzie right next to her, but does get the kill after the 2 attackers just converging there into the Cocktail Lounge. So, I didn't have a look at the ranks. It does look like they're all running Diamond Charms, so Backstrap boys here, although I've never heard of them before, potentially are quite a good team from what I've seen so far. And Invictus, having got off to a strong start, are now seeming to struggle here, as they've just lost their top floor control. Shield Boy is running between the 90 between sites and gets picked off, and it's just Hypno trying to clutch this 1v5. He gets the first down, gets the kill from it. Hypno here is going to have to pull off an absolute mad clutch if he's going to pull this back for his team. Sees the Claymore,
Attackers are
able to shoot out with a 1-tap, but he's got the vertical control again. But he sees the Sophia coming up. He was so lit that he's able to get the kill with just a couple of shots.
Defenders have eyes on the diffuser. Attackers
He
need
sees
to
the
protect
diffuser,
it.
but none of the attackers are available at the moment. He shoots his own teammate's dead body, which is a sound cue from that's going to give away that he's gone to the top floor. Now this guy outside reading is going to be so crucial because as he drops here, all this person needs to do is swing, and the Ash swings, and yeah, we go to the 2-1 on attack for Backstrap Boys, who are looking very convincing after the first round, where I thought this was going to pan out as expected, and they've come back and they've turned the tide. Let's have a look through actually. So everyone unranked at the moment, obviously, but pretty good stats coming out from all of the players here. All got good win-loss ratios. And not a single negative KD in the whole team, not that it makes particularly much difference. They're playing quite a frag-heavy style of Kafe with no thermite. So Chunker is actually part of the strat for Invictus, and it worked out last time, so the Chunker's got 100% win rate so far. Keegan, 3 assists. I'm wondering how many of his gunfights he's feeling like he's just taking and getting shots off but not quite finishing them.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
The castle barricade here, they aren't putting any mute jammers on these, so they can get taken out by breaching charges fairly easily. I am very intrigued to see them be sticking Mr. Chunker. I don't know that it's the play, to be honest with you.
10 seconds.
I'm not sure if it's because of the 1-eye ban. Maybe they would normally have a 1-eye on this corner. But
5 seconds
I'm
remaining.
surprised to see them not take a mute or something and just protect the castle barricades a little bit more. Maybe just stop droning through the shop a little bit, but it is what it is. And it worked out from last time, so who am I to criticize? Hypno here going for the spawn peak again, but nobody's spawning on this side. And I've got to say, I think Backstrap Boys' decision to be spawning over on this south side of the map is probably correct. Gives them a little bit of safety.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped. Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
I can't actually bring the camera past this point, which feels a little bit weird. It feels like I should be able to go more east on this. But that is one of the mirror windows dropped. I can't actually see... I'm not sure how they've managed to drop by quite so quickly. Oh, the Chunk has dropped it, sorry, so he can put his turret through it. Right, that makes a little bit more sense. Grand Slayer gets the opening kill here, onto the Ash of Shapes.
Cover me, reloading!
And you serious, just over-peeking that skylight. Putting them 2-man down on this attack so far.
Bomb located by attackers.
2 minutes left on the clock, so we've got some time to pull this back, but very little map control. And they're trying to take on this cocktail side, which is, again, I mentioned earlier about how they're attacking the opposite side to what a lot of teams do. And this is definitely the most off-meta push of the 3 that I've seen so far. Hypno here, trying to get asphyxiated by the Capital, but he's just holding down this spot between the 2 bars. He does get completely blinded here. Nobody's repelled in, so nobody's punching him for it, but Keegan actually pulls down the castle barricade, so the defender's trying to contest this cocktail more now.
Loading mag.
And it's gone into a bit of a moment of silence though, where everyone was just waiting for someone to overpeak, and Riot is the first person to break the silence, turning it into a 3-3. But has managed to go below. He's taking out the spot where the dock is, so I'm assuming they had very good intel, and Capital's managed to make it into the cocktail balcony. The proximity going alarm lighting up, but he's actually just turned around and killed Hypno and Shield Boy. Amazing push in here from Mil 6, who's able to get the plant down now. And it is Smay with the worst gun in the game to try and clutch this. And he gets destroyed, and it's 3-1 on the attack for Backstrap Boys. Mil R6 had a very strong entry then. And I gotta say, Riot's been doing work as well. They're looking very strong coordinated as a team so far. And they lost 2 opening picks that round, so they did a very good job of pulling that back. back to reading. So Invictus seem to have completely lost confidence in their kitchen, breaking the cycle for the first time not to go back there. Once again, this Yana 6 picked off onto the IQ, which makes perfect sense. It is a little bit sad to see. I wanted to see some Yana brought out, but no Mute Mozzie Vigil combo coming out from the defender, so I can kind of see why Yana's not being brought. And not even particularly very much 20-second meta, and I think Yana's got a really interesting role where she can break down both of those metas. She can go past the pests, and although the mute jammers will stop her, she can provide intel for the attackers. She's also got the nades to break down shields and evil eyes, and she's, for a lot of teams, I think, going to solve a lot of issues breaking down a lot of the difficult metas at the moment. But Invictus playing more of a kind of old school. The Echo and the Legion are kind of intel ops, and I think it's better from a little while ago where there was a lot of Valk, Echo, Legion in play. Pretty comfortable operators with good guns, and I don't blame them for trying to break this out, but so far their strat with this setup didn't work last time. Keegan actually running the shotty on Echo with the impact, which I think is a little bit questionable. If you're going to make rotates, bring the barbed wire and just use your shotgun to do so. And I like the adaptation which came out from Backstrap Boys here. I keep forgetting their name because I don't know them particularly well. Sorry for that, but I will get used to it. Gonna call them Backstreet Boys a couple of times by accident, no doubt. So making the entry here into the Cigar Lounge, turning off the music, which is driving everybody mad. And just overlooking this setup in Cocktail. There's a lot of castle barricades just blocking off the angles, but also giving free entry to certain parts of the bar here. Proximity alarms going off, and Riot getting absolutely lit up. I like the idea here from Invictus, just to make it so that they can walk through the bar and then get detected by the proximity alarms. I think it's really interesting they've managed to work this out so soon after proximity alarms introduced into the game. And a couple of kills are coming up from Grand Slayer, the IQ getting traded off, and it works out in the favour of Invictus, who find themselves two people up. Shapes and Mill R6 just here trying to pull this back. Mill R6 is yet to die, so he's going to have to clutch for a round in order to keep this going, or he's going to have to go hide in the corner, of course. I'm hoping he doesn't do that. Shapes trying to wallbang a player who's not there, just looking at a site, and actually nobody here at the moment, so... Oh, so just the Echo shotty, which I think is going to give him a bit of a shock. He actually turns around and wins the gunfight against a shotgun, so... balance out to just a one-man advantage. Legion has dropped here. I'm not sure if he's aware of the person's position. He isn't, and once again we see Shapes who almost turns it into a man advantage, and I gotta say the individual players from Backstrap Boys are looking very strong, but Invictus do hold out that time, having got the couple of opening picks. They actually do turn it into a round win, so 3-2, still not particularly great for the defending side, but salvageable. And now they're stuck between kitchen and bar, both of which they've lost once. They have won bar once, but they do choose to go back to kitchen, which they are yet to win. And it does look like they're doing the same setup. I can't remember if the mute was there last time. I'm not sure if... I think it was, so I'm not sure if they're just going to try and use that to block off the freezer this time. Of course, the attackers were getting vertical above it, so they will be able to take it out.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
So let's see if they see. Let's see if we get the same castle setup coming out here into a small bakery. It does look the same. Interesting to see whether or not they adapt to the vertical roam clear and then the freezer push. Not sure if they're just going to turn sight on his head, just anchor into the cooking side instead, but we'll see.
Stay clear of BTS line of fire.
10 seconds left. 5
The
seconds
music's
to go.
incredibly loud.
Camera activated.
I can hear it all going on the
Attackers
bottom
are
floor.
heading out to defuse a bomb.
So the rotate hasn't actually been made here. I'm not sure if they're just behind on the setup or if they've deliberately changed that. The attackers
Camera initiated.
look to be heading up again, so I think they're going to go for the same roam clearing. There's no roam presence again from the defenders.
Initiating jammer.
They're very much bunkered down into site and nearby, but the attackers still go for a roam clear, and I'm wondering if their droning's aggressive enough here, they can save themselves a lot of time and pick up on the fact they can just enter straight into middle floor, which, yep, as I say, that is exactly what they do. They're all just flooding through reading, and only 35 seconds wasted, and they're already in control of the entire middle and top floors.
Drone activated. I'm dry.
It's only a minute off the board so far, and Riot here is in control of the white stairs and VIP corridor. The attackers don't have a buck this time, so they are back to having to use the Ash and Zofia to get the vertical angles. The IQ here is able to get the mute jammer off, which is crucial because now Rubik's can go down and breach that wall on the freezer side. The attackers stalling out a little bit here. They've taken all of the map control, but there's another 40 seconds have gone by, and they haven't really turned this into anything, so not sure if they're just discussing how to break down the castle setup. The IQ solo pushing Bakery here, which is a little bit brave, but possibly not a bad idea. Grand Slayer does get the opening kill onto Riot. As Shapes here is trying to push into the small Bakery, just chucking the flashbangs in, ready to jump in, but blinds herself in the process, and interesting battle there between Shapes and Hypno, both of whom seem to be completely blind. ADS getting shot without having burned a single ADS somehow. Castle Barricade does get taken down, and the attackers here have got large parts of the map under control at this point, but they need to try and get rid of this Maestro, who's in such a crucial spot, holding down the service side of the objective. A lot of pressure on Shield Boy here to hold off the double door and the freezer bridge. He does have the Jaeger supporting him. Only 25 seconds left here, and the attackers don't seem to be converging into a plant or any site control.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
And Shield Boy is just getting all of the kills. Keegan gets one,
15 seconds left.
and now it's all on Mill, who is still... Oh, he's actually died once now, so
10 seconds remaining.
he's still probably the standout performer so far from what I've seen for Backstrap Boys, but I don't think he's not going to be able to clutch that, and it is an even split on the half, so a good comeback for Invictus. Not the most convincing when they went 2-1 down, 3-1 down, but they have pulled this back and they have salvaged their half. Some very late operator picks coming out for Backstrap Boys. I'm not sure if the Ella Castle was deliberate. It looked like it was a bit of an accident. I don't think anyone's lagging here, so I'm not sure if that was just a bit of server lag, or they are 6-picking the Ella. Wondering if they're just discussing a strat now that they've got a couple of random operators, or if this was intentional and they're just discussing a 6-pick, but... Interestingly, we saw Invictus win each site once, and we saw Backstrap Boys win an attack of each site. So far, both teams showing they have ideas for each site. They both clearly understand how to defend and attack them. But let's see if Invictus are as comfortable on the attack as Backstrap Boys were. Thatcher is banned, which tends to lean maps a little bit further towards the defender side. So I'm inclined to say that Backstrap Boys still have the advantage here, going on to defense with the even split beforehand. Having said that, Wamai has been removed, and this pixel corner is normally so pivotal to the defences. I do wonder if that
5
was
seconds left before insertion.
influential in the attacking wins. With that said, they did bust out mirror strat, so it's a completely different kind of mindset in terms of defending. And they were busting up into Chunker as well, which was just odd to see. But it looks like they are still doing this shield on the pixel corner, and just relying on the ADSs to protect it. And they've got other means of burning out utility. They've got the castle barricades. They've got the shield. Obviously, the ADS is going to protect it. Actually, Keegan the only one with projectiles, so it's not even going to be able to get rid of all of the castle barricades and the shield from distance. They're going to have to rely on the breaching charges. But Grand Slay here, up on the roof, opening the hatches for his team, and pretty standard here for Invictus, who doing what most teams do and just kind of heading up to roof, heading up to the repels on piano. And U-Series is taking a bit of damage, so he's being droned out pretty heavily on this pixel spot, which is pretty normal. But he's going to get challenged, I assume, by Keegan, who is just, yeah, burning the utility, and he's managed to get rid of a shield, which is a win for the attackers here. Managed to do so in just a minute 50, and they open the wall as well. Keegan here making the entry into Cigar Lounge. Smay just failing to whack the bulletproof, but he does manage to melee it off.
By attackers.
Someone here, they are smacking this castle barricade, and Hypno has been C4'd. So I think the attackers here struggling a little bit in terms of just getting stuck. And again, another C4 coming out from Milar 6 onto Keegan. And I got a question not bringing a sledge just to be able to get through these castle barricades and not become static, because the C4s here have they've just been pinned in place, just in really predictable spots. Smay is opening the default wall, but gets swung on from White, and U-Series doesn't get the second kill, but a very, very good play from him. Shield Boy here and Grand Slayer making this play up the White corridor. If they can get the diffuser back in control, they've potentially got an even split here. They don't have particularly much map control, and they do have a bit of a crossfire to walk into. Could go either way here. We got 30 seconds left on the board. The castle jumps through the rotate and wins the gunfight against the Nomad. Grand Slayer gets the kill with Buck. And he's got one of the strongest guns in the game versus the UMP, so this is in Grand Slayer's hands to clutch this for his team. Maybe getting the intel. He seems to have known where the castle's gone. Only 15 seconds left, and he doesn't have the diffuser, and he's going to have to rush around to try and grab the diffuser, which is in the washrooms, and it's going to cost him crucial here, as Rubik's just needs to play time.
5 seconds to go.
And the Buck is chasing the kill, but he doesn't know where he is. Rubik's with the clutch, just running away. And I think, considering the two guns they had, I think he definitely made the correct decision there. And Invictus getting punished for their rather static entry into piano, which allowed them to be C4'd, and also just stalling out a little bit, losing those opening picks. Same lineup, not quite the same lineup, sorry. The sledge has actually been brought in now, instead of the ash by the looks of it. And we do go on to kitchen for the defending backstrap boys. I gotta say, backstrap do look like they're in the lead so far in terms of the overall gameplay.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
It's been a really good match here so far. I gotta say, I like Backstrap Boys for doing off-meta pushes. I think they've managed to do some really interesting attacks, particularly onto the bottom floor where they managed to come through the freezer. I think Invictus have got the potential to turn this around. I think they've got the quality in their team, and they just look a little bit caught off guard by some of the ideas that Backstrat have been pulling out.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Now, Backstrat interestingly doing what I find a lot of teams do, which is they are extending into the site that they like attacking.
Attackers are moving to the
They are also extending out into bakery, so they're holding the entire bottom floor here by the looks of it. And actually sending up a guy to roam as well, so a lot less bunker centered than the strats that Invictus were running. Or actually this Jaeger might just be really late on his setup. I'm not quite sure here. No Jackal in place to punish this, leaving footprints all over the map, but the Sophia right outside the mining window, and I saw them droning out the middle floor in prep phase. I'm wondering if this Jaeger's just managed to evade all of the drones so far. Ooh, Bandit peeking out the double bakery door, which I think is a little bit questionable this early in the round. Not getting punished for it, but I don't think anyone's actually there, so. And the attackers have made their way into the cocktail bar and are now coming down into these red stairs, and it's going to be absolutely crucial for Rubik's here just to evade. And he doesn't evade it, he gets taken out by Keegan on the IQ, who gets the opening pick for the round. Only a minute wasted there for the Jaeger, so not ideal. But the C4 from U-Serious to even it out, and Hypno getting punished for taking the slower sledge, but quite an interesting meta issue at the moment with Sledge taking the nades and Buck not providing them, so Hypno a little bit slower on that Sledge, perhaps just giving away his position and making it easy for U-Serious to get a C4 onto him. Another C4 coming out from MLR6 available. U-Serious in a very difficult spot underneath his freezer hatch, just waiting to see, actually sees the Nomad, but knifes by accident, and not enough intel to know exactly where, but gunshots coming out from the Nomad, giveaway position, but the thermite charge goes off behind him, so he falls out of the freezer, and now Shape's getting contested by the Zofia. Actually downs Keegan from quite a good angle there, but has his kill was actually stolen as U-Serious turns it into a 4v2, double man advantage here for Backstrap boys. And now Grand Slayer trying to make a bit of a play, trying to come down this red hallway, but U-Serious does finish off Smay with a melee kill, which I unfortunately don't know how this just happened, but Grand Slayer stuck here in the reception, looking like he's not going to be able to do anything this round as he hears the guy on his left. The window opens and he can test the angle, and he's getting converged on here by all of the defenders. He gets smoked out and gets his sights down, and the Valkyrie finishes him off for it. 5-3 here to Backstrap boys. Backstrap looked very convincing on their attack. They only got the 3 rounds, but with the defender-sided map, that was definitely the sign that they were the better team so far. And I think now that they've swapped onto the favourable side, I think we're definitely seeing them run away with the map. Reminder, this is a best of 2, so overtime is on. There are no draws in the individual maps. The Monty coming out from Keegan, who so far possibly not having the best of days. He has survived 1 round, but he is actually second highest on the board for deaths, but U-Serious I think has been playing a lot more aggressive. He's racked up a couple of kills in the process.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Camera in position. You can stop worrying about grenades now.
So, again, I mentioned just a minute ago about how teams like to extend out into areas where teams, where they like to attack other teams. We're actually seeing the Mute Mozzie combo coming out here, and although it's not a way of extending a site, it's a way of holding a site that Yana counters, and I find it interesting that Backstrap were showing the Yana, potentially thinking that they might see Mute Mozzie come out from Invictus, but they are actually the ones who like running from Mute Mozzie. So still no Yana in play, but Monty does counter the Mute Mozzie combo just by virtue of being able to walk past and face check everything. Wondering if Invictus are feeling a little bit like they have been struggling with their intel. I haven't seen Keegan play very much, so I'm not sure if he's normally a fragger or not. I'm also not sure who the owner, or sorry, I suppose you could say the captain or IGL for Invictus is.
They cover me.
Of course, IGLs do have the responsibility of being the worst player of the team.
That's a drone for us.
I say that as an IGL myself.
Deploying drone.
Pretty heavy cocktail hold coming out here, which a lot of teams seem to have been kind of backing further and further off into cocktail to hold reading. It makes a lot of sense. You keep this laundry hatch under your control, and you've got the rotates down into sight. It does mean it's pretty easy work for you attackers here to get this Monty just to come straight through the bar and straight through freezer already. Just a minute and 15 gone, and he is straight up onto his castle. He doesn't see him. And nice shots coming out from Keegan. The full magazine of the Magnum. Bit of a misplay potentially from the castle, not being aware of that Monty. The defender, the Mozzie, actually on his drone here, just it turns around with a Monty just looking at him, and I don't know what Riot's doing there. I don't know why he didn't just back off from the Monty, but Keegan doing damage so far. Oh my god, Keegan with the triple kill on the Monty so far. What a turnaround he's had in this round. Clearly listening to me. Had enough of me talking about his performance so far, and he's come out and just turned this round on its head. Maybe this Monty was just the kick that they needed. He missed a couple of shots there. Not quite sure where Viega's playing, but needs a chance to reload this gun. He's only got 2 bullets left in it. And now Viega's just running away from him. And I gotta say, Keegan's multiplayer here has been very impressive. He's definitely giving these defenders trouble as they just run away and back off, and he's gaining a lot of map control for his team. I'm not sure if holding the angle here is a good idea, but the plant is going down behind him, so Rubik's does manage to deny the plant, which is a little bit sloppy from Invictus. Shape's just flanking around. The C4 has gone, so Jaeger, again, what is he supposed to do against this Monty? It's giving him such issues, trying to just retake this map control, but oh, am I about to see a Monty ace? Keegan is on for the ace, and Hypno steals it from him, but what a round from Keegan on the Monty getting a quad kill. Hypno just finishing it off for his team, and that has turned the game on its head so far. Now, I'm really intrigued to see how this match goes towards the end, because I thought that Backstrat had this under control, but having just seen Keegan playing that Monty, I don't know that they know how to deal with him.